to southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Will Puckett. Buckle up because we are in for a wild weather ride this weekend. That is why we are declaring today a severe weather alert day. Chief Meteorologist Andrew Dockery joins us live from the WYMT Kentucky Fishing Expo with more. Andrew, happy Friday, buddy.
Yeah, it's a cold one here, and it's only going to get colder as we head into the weekend. We are outside the Corbin Arena where the WYMT Kentucky Fishing Expo is going on. And as we head throughout the weekend, a couple systems, one big system impacting us in many ways. Let's take a look at some of the cameras. We'll take you to Whitesburg, where cloudy skies continue to be the main story at this time. Notice satellite and radar. It is cloud cover, and more cloud cover with temperatures anywhere from those upper 30s to lower 40s across eastern Kentucky. Now, as we go throughout the next 12 hours, temperatures going to be dropping to the upper 30s tonight, and we might see a slight chance for a shower or two. Now, this is all going to be ahead of that next system, which impacts us as we head into the forecast. Notice the weekend headlines. It's 1 to 2 plus inches of rain for your Saturday. Light accumulations expected on your Sunday. And with both of those overnight periods, you could be looking at some freezing of the roadways with the moisture on the ground. So temperatures tank from Saturday's high all the way down to Sunday night's low. That could be as cold as the single digits. We'll have a full look at the forecast coming up and what you can expect for the rest of the weekend and into next week coming up here from Corbin in a few minutes.
All righty, Andrew, we'll be right back with you. Now, I talked about potentially freezing roadways, and so we're talking about that harsh weather and it coming this weekend. Crews are getting ready. In Perry County, many road crew workers are getting ready to tackle the snow. We are told salt trucks have been loaded in preparation for the possibility of heavy snowfall this weekend. As usual, crews say they will work hard to keep the roads clear. Now to a breaking story out of Whitley County tonight. 3 people now face charges in connection with a 2017 murder. Today we learned Williamsburg police obtained warrants on Darnell Chivers, Jeremy S. Hatfield, and Anthony Hester. Investigators say they worked together to murder 16-year-old Robert Littleman Kennedy Jr., his mother Emma Jean Gardner Bittner, and Christopher Bittner. We have WYMT's Phil Pendleton working on this story for us tonight at 6. Well, during a meeting yesterday, EnerBlue officials expressed concerns that the government shutdown is causing a small hiccup and a delay in construction. Both city officials and those with EnerBlue say the facility is still on the way, and they are excited to come to eastern Kentucky. WYMT's Macy Marie has more.
2 buildings and 2 setbacks are holding up work for EnerBlue in Pikeville's Kentucky Enterprise Industrial Park.
As those issues come up, we work through them.
The first involves the smaller of the 2 buildings. They need approval from the federal government to begin the project.
Their first phase, which is a 60,000 square foot assembly building being funded by Abandoned Mine Land Grant, will begin construction as soon as we receive approval from the Office of Surface Mining.
Which cannot happen while the government is shut down.
So as soon as they get back to work and give that authorization, then construction on that building will commence shortly thereafter.
Despite the small setback, Pikeville City Manager Philip Ellswick says the first building on EnerBlue's site should open next year.
So there may be some small delay in completion of the facility, but to my knowledge, it's still very much on schedule.
Another obstacle EnerBlue needs to overcome, constructing the manufacturing building on mining soil.
You know, anytime you build a building on mine spoil in eastern Kentucky, there's going to be geotechnical issues.
EnerBlue officials say they will deal with that hurdle later on down the road. But for now, they are on track to build in eastern Kentucky.
EnerBlue is truly transformative, not just for Pikeville, but for the entire region.
Looking forward to having the company that will call Pikeville home. In Pike County, Macy Marie, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, EnerBlue officials tell us they hope to break ground this spring. People should be able to start working at the site about a year later when the first building is finished being constructed. Once the entire facility is complete, EnerBlue will have more than 800 employees. Well, a Lawrence County man is facing child pornography charges. Troopers tell us they arrested James Combs last night as part of an undercover investigation. They say they had a warrant and seized equipment used in the crime. He is charged with distribution and possession of child pornography. Well, today is day one of the Kentucky Fishing Expo presented by WYMT and Pittsburgh Marine. The expo lasts all weekend and is packed with vendors bringing everything from hooks and reels to boats and apparel. WYMT's Justin Case is at the Expo Center with a look at what you can expect this weekend. Justin?
Well, within about 15 minutes of the doors opening here at the Corbin Arena, it was packed. And most of these vendors are from Eastern Kentucky or from bordering states. Now, something we talked about at 4 o'clock is just how big fishing is becoming here in Kentucky, especially with younger generations getting involved with fishing teams. Now, over my right shoulder, just down the way here, there's actually a booth set up with the South Laurel fishing team. And while they told me that they love the competition, they say they also love seeing the sport grow.
The best part's, we're seniors this year, so seeing the younger kids and being able to, help them along and try to get this spark going, because there's a lot of people coming up, so it's kind of cool to see the younger, where we used to be.
Now, Will, I did want to mention one thing. You kind of hit on it earlier with Andrew talking about severe weather happening this weekend. We reached out to transportation cabinet officials around here to see what their plan was. They feel confident. Again, they are already loaded up with the salt trucks. They're ready to go. They're on standby if anything happens. If you're planning on traveling here this weekend or anywhere in this area, the road should be in pretty good shape. And we're going to have more on the expo coming up tonight at 6. Will?
All righty, Justin, thank you. It might be a perfect time for people to go to get inside out of that cold and dreary weather. We appreciate it, Justin. Well, attorneys for Senator Rand Paul think his political views should be off limits in an upcoming civil trial. Senator Paul is suing his neighbor, Rene Boucher. Boucher attacked the senator back in 2017 while he was doing yard work and pleaded guilty to assaulting a member of Congress. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail, and now Senator Paul is suing for damages. Boucher's attorney agrees Paul's political views are not relevant to the case, but says the case was always about the condition of Senator Paul's yard. Now, the White House says a second face-to-face meeting between President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un will take place next month. Natalie Brand is at the White House, where a North Korean official met with the president and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un are planning a second summit in late February.
We've had very good steps in good faith from the North Koreans in releasing the hostages and other moves, and so we're going to continue those conversations, and the president looks forward to his next meeting.
The announcement came after an hour-and-a-half long meeting between the president and North Korean negotiator Kim Yong-chol. Kim Yong-chol also had a morning meeting with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo at a Washington hotel.
Thursday, the Trump administration released its missile defense review. The report called North Korea's weapons arsenal an extraordinary threat.
This is something that has not been able to be resolved for over 30 years, and I don't think it's something that President Trump can resolve in the next 2 or 3 months.
Balbina Huang worked on North Korea-related issues as a former senior advisor at the State Department. She says this second meeting is more important than the first, and that the president needs to walk away with tangible agreements from Kim Jong-un towards denuclearization.
That has to be the basic minimum standard of the next summit.
With details and
yes. With details.
More concrete steps.
That's right. I mean, it can't be another meeting just to have a photograph and a nice feel-good summit.
Vietnam is a likely location for the next summit. The White House says details will be announced at a later time. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
North Korea's Kim Yong-chol had lunch with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo after that White House meeting. And coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, flu season is in full swing. Who should consider a trip to the ER? That answer just ahead. And in your Money Watch report, how the government shutdown is impacting business.
Coming up, I'll tell you about a group of Hazard High School students that are working on a software program that could potentially help first responders anytime they arrive to a new location. I'll tell you all about how this could help save lives coming up.